Howdy, howdy, howdy. Nearly senior citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. And remember, no matter who you are valid. It has been raining. Raining for days. For a while, it had halfway left off, so I grabbed my walker and I headed out, and I went to Walmart. And then it started to rain, so I had to push my walker back with my umbrella. Yay! Not easy, pushing with this hand and then bracing the top of my hand against the handle and then holding the umbrella and bracing it against my shoulder. So it's around, in fact it's exactly 2 p.m. now. My box and tablet here is in the way, so I can't see the time immediately. I suppose I could have looked over there. I've got something up on my monitor already, so I could have checked the time, maybe. Anyway though, hopefully your day has been going well. As stated here, it has just been raining a lot, and I have been sleeping poorly. Of course, as stated, I've stopped taking 200 milligram caffeine tablets, and now I am having more sleeping problems than I do than when I do take caffeine tablets. I can sleep with caffeine. It's just raising my blood pressure. Anyway though, hopefully again, your day is going well. I had therapy today, so of course it's all late because therapy. In case you don't know, the best way to, my therapist put it is, you know, it's like our minds are like the surface of a lake, and underneath is where all of our memories and stuff are, our subconscious, our unconscious, and it's all just a mass of free-floating and detaching fishing line. So that when you bring up one memory, it's going to drag up a whole bunch of other stuff that you are probably going to be surprised as hell about that it came up. And it takes a while for all that stuff to settle back down. I mean, it's not a major thing. Everybody goes through it. It just takes, hey, for me, it takes a couple hours. It's never anything major or awful. It's just, it takes time for things to settle back down. I have my light back there. And now it's a really sharp shadow because my tablet's partly in the way and partly not if I go over this way, so yay. There's a light that goes over there, but when I got the camera facing, when I have my tablet facing in this direction, that's way too bright, so with that off I needed extra lighting, but that seems to be way too sharp, and the shadows and then the cutoff with the tablet, so oh boy. So anyway though, let me take a look up here. One really quick thing I wanted to talk about was just something I thought was funny. I watch meme compilation things where either people are just independently reading it off, you know, by themselves, you know, reading the meme, and then there's the meme in the background, and then so you can see it and then hear them, and then they go on to the next thing. Or you have more than one person, and so they're busy trying to read it, and they're busy laughing as they see it at the same time, and then one person will make a joke, and then, you know, they rip, and then they go back and forth. Those ones are more fun, but you don't often find a good team for that. But it was on one of those that I saw this one that I'm just going to have to tell you about. There was like a picture. Well, the big meme thing was, it was a video chat thing, and it was the pain and suffering video chat. And in the one box, there were just these, there was one guy, one box here with a guy, and another guy here streaming, and then they were both just into their chairs. What, into their chairs? Into their hands while leaning over their chairs. And then somebody else comes into the chat and goes, hey, how is everyone? And then they go, oh, what? Oh, hi, yeah, we're all doing great. It's just, and you know, and then they cut off for, you know, cut off edits to, they're all in the 3 different chats going, oh, and I'm an idiot, so I laughed like one when I saw that. So thumbs up. I like absurdist, surrealist humor. Monty Python and Monty Python's Flying Circus from, the late 60s, early 70s, last century, on television. If you've ever seen it on the internet, they got lots of parts of it. It's that absurdist, surrealist humor really appeals to me for whatever reason. I really like it if it's got some sort of underlying theme that goes through. Like if you've ever seen the movie Brazil, again from the 1980s, but it is absurdist, surrealist, it is dystopian, but it has, oh boy, it all makes sense all the way through it. So, thumbs up to that. Now let's see, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, why I thought that was funny. Oh, my nose itches. So yeah, I really like this absurdist, surrealist humor. Not randomness. Randomness is just random, nihilistic randomness. That doesn't do anything for me. I like for the next thing to at least semi-follow from what precedes, even if it is a twisted and warped, broken interpretation of what had happened before, but just that there's some kind of link that you can bring it from one point to the next. If it doesn't have that, if it's just random, yeah. Still though, taking the rest of my life. Yes, I was talking with my therapist about this. Since I have talked a lot about this, and I made the post, I have had some comments about, I have said that you should create art for the sake of creating art. Just create for the sake of creation. Create to please yourself. Don't worry about others. Create for the sake of creating. There's another YouTube channel that I watch by a guy called Shelton Wonder. Now what he says at the end of his videos is, you are not a content creator. You are an artist. You produce art, not content. Don't let them reduce what you do to content. It's art. Call it that. That's what it is. So, yeah, on that front too. It's not just junk. It's not garbage. Even if the only person that you're creating for is yourself, that is still valid. There are so many people that produce so much that's for nobody else but themselves. And that is valid. Now I know with the comments that I had, it's like, what is the use of producing art if no one else sees it? Well, you're not producing for anybody else in the world but yourself. Don't produce to please anybody else. Produce to please yourself. I don't have the ability to Google this. I'm just remembering what my therapist said, so I can't double check this, and who knows, I may find out I'm completely wrong. But he was talking about how, like with Van Gogh, had such a unpleasant reaction to his art that he lived impoverished. But it was only after his death they found this huge trove of his art. Producing because he had to produce. Creating. Now, he was driven by other means, but creation for the sake of creation. Yes, I'm sure. He wanted to make money. Everybody does. Everybody wants to live. Even though capitalism as such hasn't really existed for more than just a couple hundred years, everybody needs to do something to survive. That's not necessarily true, that's wrong. You do not have to earn your right to survive. By being born, you have a right to survive. Unfortunately, capitalism forces you to believe you have to earn that right. No, but I'm not going to go on to any further of a rant than that. So let's see, what was I talking about? I really hate my brain creating art. I don't hate my brain. My brain is fine. I hate ADHD. But I can understand why it feels like producing art for nobody but yourself may seem like nothing more than just throwing paint at a wall and or whatever stupid thing that you may think of that helps nobody in any way. I can't help the way that you interpret things. I'm not even saying my way. I'm not even saying. I can English, I promise you. I'm not even saying that the way I am telling people to interpret it is correct. It's only correct for me, and if it doesn't work for anybody else, that's fine too. Remember, create for the sake of creating. And if it works for you, it doesn't have to work for anybody else. Think of all these people that make art that is difficult to watch. Sometimes it is worth it to force yourself to do it. Sometimes it's not, because it's not aimed in your direction. You're not the target. And sometimes it can still be enriching to force yourself to go through and experience it. And sometimes, well, there's art that, well, like there's the game, like I think it's called Buckshot Roulette on Steam, and fairly recently it has been, a lot of YouTubers have been playing it, and I've tried watching one Let's Play of it once. And it's of the thing that I can't understand. Like card games, I don't understand card games. This game, I have a neurodivergent brain that can't figure it out. So those videos don't interest me. That game doesn't interest me. While I don't understand it, I do understand that others do like it. So I can understand there's difficulties. I'm being very, very twisted and arcane in the way I speak because of bloody ADHD. I'm forgetting what I'm talking about halfway through talking about it. I'm also having trouble with a lot of excess saliva, so my apologies if I have too much saliva gathering here. Yay for denture cream. Don't chew ice. If you're a young enough person that you still have a lifetime of teeth ahead of you, don't chew ice. I chewed ice when I was younger. Chewing ice puts microfissures in your teeth. These microfissures are a good place for bacteria to get into the enamel of your teeth. Food catches in the microfissures, which the bacteria feed on, and then they feed on the enamel of your teeth. If you chew on ice and get the microfissures, you may well be like I, and I had dentures in my mid-50s. I was a strong ice chewer for so very long when younger, and if I could, I'd go back and say, please don't. Because I had strong teeth until I didn't. Yeah, on that. Anyway, though, so yeah, with the whole art thing, why should you create art if it's only for yourself? That is not anything I can really answer for you. Especially since art, well, not art, my nose, my apologies. As I was talking with my therapist, one of the problems is if you want to be heard, it's been hard traditionally in the past to be heard because of literacy. And then once people became literate, and there was a whole capitalistic system for getting your stuff printed, if you hit an arbitrary threshold of an editor liking you, you could then begin a career where your voice could be heard. It was hard to catch the attention of an editor, but if you could do it, you could do it. And in a lot of ways, that's, go to a bookstore. It's still happening. It's just a lot harder now for a lot more reasons. Not for the traditional bookstores. That's still difficult, but even they're having more difficulties for different reasons. The problem is with the rise of the internet and the rise of the ability for anybody who wants to do something can. If you want to write a book and then go sell it on Amazon on the whole Kindle thing, you can. Which means there are a flood of books just by normal people. So many books. And without any curation, how are you going to stand out? If everybody has a voice, then nobody has a voice. Because if there's a bookstore that opens up where everybody's on the same shelf, 300 million authors on the same shelf, and then everybody has those, just a level playing field of those books, how do you stand out? Well, sheer luck. And now add in AI, and when you get these people who have their own systems and they get it all set up, they just have to get the text prompts put into a script and then set it up, go to bed, and when they wake up, they have 100, 1,000 books to go and submit. All the editors, all the places out there that have been taking stuff are just have been having a big problem with that. And another bigger problem with that is, of course, the tech bros that are refining all of these things. They're not creating these things to make art because they like art. They're making this so they can bypass the artist because they don't really like art. So, yay. So how do you stand on that? Well, the point I was also making on that is you've got just so many TikTok and YouTube videos that will explain to you in excruciating detail how you won't have to ever work again because use AI to not only write your book but every book from now on, and you can send it in and make money. You want to make money with your drawings and your art? Here's how to flood the market with your art and make money. Nobody is in using these things because they like art. They're doing it to make money, and because so many of them are trying to do that, again, if you're trying to sell your book, and all the people that you're trying to sell your book to are being flooded with an ocean of AI books or AI art, how are you even going to stand up against that? So how do you get seen? How can you do things if you need to be seen? If you need to make money to be able to create? I wish I could help you. When everybody has a voice, nobody has a voice. Thumbs up for that. And let me see what else. The last thing I'm going to talk about is I have for a while been thinking about and talking with my therapist and talking with I like humor where basically somebody dies. I like death as humor. Fictional death. IRL death, not in the slightest. I don't even like to kill bugs. In fiction, the more people dead, the better. In fact, I think if you're going to be making like a video game, even if it's just a cozy sim that where you sit back with a cup of chocolate on a rainy day, if your character isn't even just, accidentally ending a few human lives on a daily basis, why are you even making a game? But the whole pain and suffering and people laughing, I've sort of talked about that before, like we have the I don't know if it's still going, There was America's Funniest Home Videos, where for a long time a huge portion of that was just people getting hurt. Not only that, it was just a whole thing about men getting hit in the crotch, and then everybody laughing at their pain. And then there are so many movies, TV shows, comics, like Futurama does this a lot, where I think it's awesome that they do this, but you know, quite regularly, like, people just get eaten as a punchline. Yep, human death and suffering as a joke because it's funny. And I was thinking about that because I watch the channel Civvy 11, which, if you don't watch Civvy 11, it's a guy who does computer game stuff. But the conceit of the channel is he's Civvy 11 because he's CV11. Whenever you see shots of the place that he's being held as a prisoner, there's like CV10, CV12. And in the credits of his show, you know, they'll have like all the various CVs that work on it, but they'll give the names for those. And so he's this prisoner in a facility. What did he do? Why is he there? Who knows? But the things that get done to him are terrible. In one of them, a thing that I laughed at was he'd had a medical procedure done, and he made a pun, and you hear this sound, and he goes from the middle of his sentence, he goes, and yeah, there's and he falls to the ground, and then you hear after him, he's just going, oh, fuck. And yeah, he got like badly hurt, and I laughed out loud because him suffering was funny. And so here, the thing that made me laugh, and of course he wouldn't be doing these things if they weren't funny. And they are funny in a horrible way. But the thing that I laughed at today that was horrible, I need to get a notebook for this one because it was horrible. He does what is a sewer count. He counts up each time there's a sewer level in a video game. And it's up like almost 300 at this point. He was going on, about the sewer count. And I don't want to do the sewer count because then I have to go back and make sure I'm getting it all right. And I wanted to give it up, but I can't give it up because now if I do give it up, then something bad is going to happen. Oh God, I'm sorry. And then you see on the little counter, you hear 2 for the counter, 2 for the desk. 2 for the counter, 2 for the desk. 2 for the counter, 2 for the desk. It's an obsessive behavior that he's engaging in. And so it came back with some time later when he'd properly worked his way through his obsessive behavior on that. And I laughed out loud because it's horrible. Absolutely horrific. So it made me laugh, especially since there is something in humanity, and there are subreddits, if you've ever gone to Reddit and seen the subreddits, where there's like anti-humor and bone-hurting juice, where sometimes things are funny precisely because they're not. And sometimes they're not funny because they're just like, well, that's stupid. Well, of course that's not funny. And sometimes you can keep pushing that and something becomes, it's not funny. Then it becomes funny. Then it becomes not funny. And then it becomes absolutely freaking hysterical. And then there are some things that are, again, not funny because they're just horrible. And those things are sometimes the funniest. After all, remember, there's all sorts of jokes like, you don't have to outrun a bear. You just have to run faster than your friend. Human death and suffering. Anyway, though, For every one of my Patreon patrons, thumbs up, thank you, it is appreciated. You make my life a little bit better, and that is a very good thing. Thumbs up and thank you. I've been waving my arm around like I just don't care, but oh, for the rest of the day I gotta take it super easy, pushing my walker the way I've been doing. It's a sparkling and it ain't good. So yay on that. But you are beautiful and awesome people. Thumbs up and thank you. When you look in the mirror, you are beautiful. You are awesome. For everybody that else, I promise I can speak English. I love gabapentin. For everybody that has left me a comment, thumbs up and thank you. It is appreciated. I've been answering as many as I can of late. As much as it hurts, as much as it sparkles, it's use it or lose it. So I gotta do what I can no matter what. So yay. But thank you, each and every one of you. It is appreciated, except for the abusive comments, but I get, those are rare. And so, no fear. Oh, perfect. They are rare, but, you know, still. Thumbs up. Thank you, each and every one of you. So, until we meet again, did I say hopefully? Well, yeah, I'm going to take it easy. Hopefully you're going to take it easy. If you can get done the things that you need to get done, I still need to call the Veterans Administration. So yeah, there is still stuff I need to get done. So thumbs up on that. But hopefully you can get done the things that you need to get done. And until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side, and that is indeed a very good thing. So, yeah. Ciao.